do, Sophie, so, fa, mi, fa, so do. We are now feeling the Christmas, man. Before, nothing was happening. All we need now is the Hamatan to just bless us with dry skin and cracked lips. We are good to go. Christmas, joy to the world, hope to all mankind. And speaking of hope, what does it mean to you? Well, in the studio, I have two gentlemen whose organization has the word hope in it, and they define it in their own special way. Seated next to me, on my immediate left, is Mr. Indinya Delano Emmanuel, who's brand consultant for Hope for Little Lives. And seated to his left is Dr. Jeffrey Parker, who is Director of Programs and Outreach, Hope for Little Lives. Gentlemen, you are welcome. Merry Christmas to you in advance.
Many happy.
How are you doing?
We're doing
well. I'm a catch of him. How are you, the shy? This is not your first time here, is it?
Yes, no, it's
not your first time. Yeah. So more of him for you.
It's good to be back.
We are happy to have you here.
Yeah.
I'll start with Dr. Parker. So, what's the idea behind this foundation, Hope for Little Lives?
Okay, so the idea behind Hope for Little Lives was birthed by our founder, who is also a pediatric surgeon, Mrs. Mami Techiwa Abuchi, Dr. Mrs. Mami Techiwa Abuchi, who many years ago, when she was in medical school, had the opportunity to undergo an outreach in the northern part of Ghana, where she realized how dilapidating that setting was. People didn't have access to good health care, hygiene, and we can all bear witness to the fact that a lot of resources aren't just in the north. So it birthed up a desire in her to sort of create an NGO in the future that would serve the needs of all children who are in such undeserved areas. And hence, after a number of years, in 2021, Hope for Little Lives was founded. It was founded on the principles, the guiding principles that you've already mentioned, being hope, H standing for health, O for outreach, P for personal grooming, and E for education. If you look at our logo, you see that there are many colors. There's an egg. There are many colors of the eggshell itself, and there are two, a male and a female, who are holding hands together. The egg symbolizes how fragile the life of every child is. The different colors also signify that children come in all forms, all shapes, all sizes, various socioeconomic backgrounds. But if they are given the right amount of support, if they are given the right amount of education, health care, all these things, they are able to sprout up into responsible adults.
Okay,
yes.
Great. I get the picture loud and it's very clear in my mind. Emmanuel, so tell us about these four legs of your hope: health, outreach, personal grooming, education. That's what it stands for, right?
Yes, exactly that. So when you look at health, and like Dr. Jeffrey just said, our founder is a pediatric surgeon.
Looks after little children.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of our core mandates is to be able to give communities pediatric surgical care. Since we were founded in 2021, we've undertaken 4 outreaches already in Wa. The next one was in Kita, and then we went to Nkranza. And our very last one was in Easter of this year, which we had at Mamobi. And so we try as much as possible to give kids pediatric surgical care. That is with the health aspect.
And I see you're spreading the love all around the country, so you're in different regions.
Different regions.
Volta.
Exactly. You know. So this time around, and we'll get to that point where we'll be going next. Also, when you talk about education, we believe that when the children are given the right support, they were able to reach their very full potential. And so we make sure that for every community or every region that we visit, we make sure we donate books to the school. We refurbish school buildings, and also the regional libraries are also given certain books to help these children to read, because we are trying to inculcate the habit of reading among children in these communities. Also, personal grooming is a very, very important part of it, because every child needs somebody to look up to. I'm sure when you were growing up, you had a role model that you were looking or aspiring to be
100%.
like. So every child looks up to people. And when we go to these communities and we interact with the kids, they tell us how they want to be doctors and nurses and teachers. And with Hope for Little Lives, we are a group of professionals from very, very different and diverse backgrounds, which gives these children the opportunity to interact with people that they aspire to be like. And so this is the cardinal thing that we've been doing with Hope, the word Hope.
Awesome. Great. So H for healthcare, O for outreach, P for personal grooming, and E for education. Dr. Parker, how do you choose the communities that you take your outreach to?
So the first time that we went to the northern region, of course, it was based on a vision that was had many years ago. So choosing the north was a non-brainer, but subsequently we identify areas that need children who need our services. It's usually a team effort. We collaborate with the medical superintendents in the various regions to identify the burden of pediatric surgical care in those places. Then we move towards there. So it is our vision to at least go to all regions in Ghana in the next 5 years.
Okay. Ibano, tell us about some success stories that have come out of the work that Hope for Little Lives is doing.
All right. It is very important for me to highlight a lot of our success stories. Since our inception in 2021, we've successfully carried out 179 pediatric surgeries for children across Ghana.
What's the most common kind of surgery that children are getting?
Most of the children have these hernia conditions. Most of the children.
You normally think that hernias affect older people?
Yes, and Mr. Kafui, I thought the same before I joined Hope for Little Lives. But you'll be surprised to know that, you know the navel, and you see a child with a navel that is protruding.
Okay.
It's a kind of hernia.
Ah.
I only found out when I joined Hope for Little Lives.
Okay.
And so these are the most frequent conditions. I think we have 2 or 3 types of hernia. Dr. Parker is the medical expert. He can speak more about it.
Okay.
But back to the question that you asked me. So we've also been able to screen over 1,200 children across Ghana, identifying different diseases and also administering medications to solve those diseases that they are actually faced with or anything. Also, we've been able to renovate a couple of schools, donated books across the 4 regions that we have already visited as well. And one of the things that really stood out for me was when we visited Kita. Kafu, it might interest you to know that we have just about 13 pediatric surgeons in Ghana.
The whole of Ghana?
The whole of Ghana.
1-3.
And most of them are centered within Accra and Kumasi. So if a child has a pediatric condition and is found in the north or in Volta or in Branhafo, and you don't have a general surgeon who can handle that, they would have to travel all the way to Accra or Kumasi for them to be operated on. And so when we're in Kita, a little baby, I think about 6 months old, was brought in and she was pooing blood. And our team assessed the whole situation and realized that it was an intussusception, which means one part of the intestine getting into another part of it. And if not for our presence in Kita at the time, she would have had to be brought to Accra. But we were able to quickly handle it, and then in about 24 hours, baby was fine, and we're all excited about it. So these are some of the success stories that we have to share.
Dr. Parker, do you get feedback by going back to find out how people are doing, or is it just touch and go?
We always go to make an impact, but definitely one of the things that we do is that we try to follow up on some of our special all the children are special. We do follow up on all of them. Most at times it's the medical superintendents, the surgeons who are in the area that give us feedback. Your children are doing well, they are fine. Just to add to what Della said the other time, there are sometimes very special cases that we meet. We had a case in Keta again of I think a 13 or 14-year-old boy who had a testicular swelling that they thought was a hernia. So after our team of surgeons assessed on ground, they realized it was a mass. Lo and behold, we took out the mass, brought it to Accra Pathologists Without Borders, and did the histopathological analysis. That means that we wanted to know what it was, whether it was cancerous or not. And we realized that it was schistosomiasis. So this is a patient that we had to follow up with treatment. So schistosomiasis is a parasitic infection, and it is usually common in areas where there are water bodies, and people sort of get infected with those parasites.
All right.
They can cause a lot of complications. There can even be malignant transformation of the infection, which this young boy may have had if we hadn't intervened early. So yes, we do perform elective surgeries, but they are all life-saving and transformative.
Okay.
So for clients like that, we were able to follow up. We kept on following up, and everything is fine now.
I must imagine that you have lots of collaborations with the medical people who are in the communities already.
Yes, we do, because if you don't collaborate with them, then you would struggle to be able to be successful. Because before we go to the grounds to carry out these outreaches, the medical people on grounds would have to screen the children, first do a pre-screening, book their cases down for us to know the number of children we are likely to operate on and everything before we actually travel to the place. And then our team actually also does its own assessment and examination before the surgeries are carried out. You know, Kafui, before anybody can be taken into the surgery or the theater to be operated on, they have to really be checked, because the conditions have to be right. Even it's when I joined Hope for Little Lives that I realized that if a baby is coughing or somebody's coughing, they don't take the person to the theater to operate on and all of that. And so yeah, I've learned quite a lot.
You're learning some small medicine, small.
I am. Sometimes people address me as doctor, and I'm like, no, I'm not a doctor. I just work with doctors.
You're working with one now.
Yes.
You're a doctor.
He knows a lot of doctors.
Yes. What kind of? You're a doctor as well.
I'm a doctor.
What kind of medicine do you do?
I'm a general practitioner. I'm a medical officer
Awesome.
at Accra Medical Center right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. What are some of the challenges that you have in this work?
The challenges are a lot.
Main ones.
So you would agree with me that doing something like this in this type of economy takes a great toll. The undertaking is very huge, but due to some companies and individuals, we've been able to make each and every outreach work. So I think that's one of the major challenges that we have. The second one that I would say from my medical point of view is the stigma that comes along with some of these medical conditions, and the fact that some people don't think that they need any medical intervention to solve these issues. They rather resort to other practices, and they attribute them to probably
witchcraft and spirits.
Exactly. I didn't want to say that.
No, but
yes,
every medical conversation I have always goes around to that area.
Yes.
So people think it's a spiritual thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
everywhere in Ghana.
Everywhere in Ghana.
Okay.
So the advocacy.
We are highly spiritual.
Very spiritual. The advocacy for pediatric surgery is on the low. There are only 13 pediatric surgeons as at 2023 this month. So it's something that we strive to overcome each and every single outreach.
Right.
I would tend to Dela to continue with some of the
challenges.
The challenges.
Okay.
Oh, I think Dr. Parker has mentioned it all. I think the biggest challenge again here remains raising support and funds for projects like this. It's the biggest challenge. But like you already said, we are thankful to individuals and benevolent organizations who support us to be able to carry out these outreaches. Of course, the last time I was here, I I said that even the sea still receives rainwater.
Of course.
And so as many people who can come on board to support us would help ease the burden on us. So yes, I think those are the major challenges.
Nice. Now, this year, the Hope for Little Lives train is pulling up where?
So we are going to Sekondi-Takoradi this year.
All right.
So it's Christmas in Sekondi-Takoradi.
Yes. What are the dates?
You know, Christmas in Sekondi-Takoradi is a special one.
We may see
I'm sure
you
you've heard of the masquerade parades and stuff that happens.
You may see us there.
Oh,
so
okay.
don't worry.
We're looking forward to. We're looking forward to. So we are going to Sekondi-Takoradi this year.
Okay.
Like we've done in previous outreaches. We will arrive there, and then
what date are you arriving on?
We're supposed to arrive on the 21st, God willing.
Good.
And then our team we usually will pay a courtesy call on the municipal chief executive,
of course,
to tell them of our presence exactly in their town or in their city. And then our team moves straight to the hospital to do the pre-screening.
Which hospital?
We'll be having it at the Kwesi Government Hospital this time.
Okay.
Yes. So we do our pre-screening, and then the following day surgery starts, because depending on the number of cases that have been recorded, the team would have to work probably a longer shift to be able to make sure that every child that has been booked is taken care of.
All right.
And then also we have a Christmas party, which we always do,
nice,
as well as our book donations and everything. And it's very important for me to note that we are a faith-based organization, and so wherever we go, we make sure we spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so we would have a crusade in Takoradi as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you treat non-Christian clients as well?
Oh yes,
fantastic.
We do. It's open to everybody, even the organization. I mean, members of our organization is not strictly Christian.
Okay.
So we are open to everybody. Exactly.
So 21st to 26th.
Yes, 21st,
in Western region.
In Western
the best
region.
Comes from the West.
Yes.
All right. Any people you want to thank?
Yes, we want to thank all our sponsors from over the years since 2021. I don't know whether I can mention names.
Yes, mention.
I would like to thank Star Assurance. They have been a long-standing partner, sponsor. KGL, Aka Energy, pharmaceuticals. Would like to thank Ernest Chemists. Also like to thank 37 Chemists. They have been extraordinary in providing resources for us.
Awesome.
Della knows some other companies.
This we have to make sure you remember to mention everybody.
Yeah, so thank all your sponsors.
It's always better to keep it safe by thanking everybody for their support over the years. We've had people in the health insurance companies like Glyco Health and KEK Health Insurance and all those people.
People are kind, really.
Yes.
Yeah. But how can people get in touch with you as we go? Okay. Is there a number? Is there a WhatsApp? Is there Facebook? How do we get in touch?
Okay, so we have we're on all the social media platforms. Our website is www.hopeforlittlelives.com. And then on Facebook, you can find us on hopeforlittlelives.com.
Okay.
It's the same with Instagram as well. And then also, there's a number that you can reach us on, 37393785785.
Drop that number again.
So it's 059-7393785.
Okay.
So you can reach us on all of these numbers.
All right. So that's Ms. Ndinya Delanyo, Imano, Brad Consultant for Hope for Little Lives. Sitting next to him is Director of Programs and Outreaches, Dr. Jeffrey Parker. They are part of Hope for Little Lives. This year, they are storming Western region big time. You know, Takoradi, 21st to 26th of December. And hey, be part of it. If you're in the area, look for them. And let's help the little lives to flourish. They deal in healthcare, outreach, personal grooming, and education. Gentlemen, Merry Christmas to you in advance.
Many, many happy returns.
All right. If I crane my neck, I can see the time. Yeah, it's 6:57, and our favorite sports lady is in the house. Maltiti Sider Sadiq, looking all Black Star kind of vibe.
I should have worn this jersey yesterday, even though the Black Queens lost to, Namibia. But at least in solidarity, yes.
They lost?
Yes.
Oh.
In solidarity to the fact that they have been doing amazing. But they did qualify.
Oh,
they qualified, actually, yes. But unfortunately, it was 1-0. And, so we should push the Black Queens more because we don't want to say the Black Stars I was going to say Black Kings. The Black Stars have been disappointing us a lot. But at least the Black Queens have proved themselves. So
the Black Stars have been disappointing us.
Oh, calf.
The Black Queens have been winning. It's a fact.
Oh.
It's not about propaganda. It's a fact. Black Stars didn't disappoint we Black Queens are winning.
Yeah,
please, anytime there's a Black Queens game, let me know. I'll wear my jersey.
Most definitely.
Yes, yeah.
We will be wearing our jerseys to support the Queens. So there's some news about them. There's news about Media Mercy, who are also meeting in the CAF Champions League. You know that the first games didn't go well for them, but at least now they are getting some winning streaks, and so they'll be meeting Young Africans in Kumasi for the CAF Champions League. There are other stories in UEFA Women and the EPL. I don't know if Manchester United will be there, but there are other big stories. So, yes. So we'll be back with the details. Stay with us.